Hello and welcome to today's Ask Me Anything with Rexis Biotech. And as everybody knows, their campaign is coming to a close. So this is a really great chance for you to ask any questions that you have. For those of you new to this system, if you look at the bottom left of your screen, you will see a couple of bubbles. Hop into those bubbles and ask your questions, and I'll make sure they get answered today. Today, we are joined by Keith Bushfield, CEO of Rexis Biotech, and Ryan Irving, COO of Rexis. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Lots of sunshine, no eclipses today, so we're doing well. I'm going to start off with just some questions that have come in over the last few weeks that I think would be a pertinent place to start. You already have 199 investors in the company through WeFunder and have raised over 460,000. What are your plans to? What do you plan to do with this capital that you have raised?
Operations, basically. So operations, some marketing. As we have been growing as rapidly as we have, there's always a need for more capital. So it's twofold. It's a good amount of money, but at the same time, it's a fairly conservative amount, I guess, is the best way to say it. So we didn't go out and get a ton of money at this value. We believe that as we increase the value of this company over the next year, it will help shareholders. So their return on investment will be much better as we grow. We have acquisitions that we're working on currently. We have expansion of the market that we are in, multiple overseas markets, again, other corporate acquisitions. So putting all those pieces together, this is just one of those structures and one of those tools to get us to the next level. Instead of an organic growth, it helps us to accelerate some of that growth potential. But mostly into the operations, product development, inventory production, basically all of those things that it might fall under.
And the challenge always is, early stage, you need the money, but you end up having a lower valuation. So you've got to be so careful to balancing so you have enough to get to the next level without, giving away too much, because investors always want to know that the leads, the main players still have skin in the game. So you're still going to be motivated to grow the company. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's a rinse repeat system for me. So, obviously we started lean as lean as we possibly can. And then as we grow, we start adding pieces on to help us grow faster, help us grow more efficiently. We may take on some money in the earlier days that is not nearly as attractive for us, but it's early stage money. So as we grow, that number increases, and that's the model. So, we don't ever want to do another fundraising or a financing that's lower than where we're at. And then we will continue to grow that until we're at a place where we have the next iteration of what we do. So,
but certainly over this whole process, you've had a lot of traction. Do you want to, Ryan, do you want to speak to some of the successes you've had as a business whilst the crowdfunding campaign has taken place?
Yeah, thank you. It's been an incredible ride. The company has been evolving for a bit now, and we launched our beverages in the latter part of last year. Really didn't start until the fall, and we had some pretty aggressive projections because we knew there was strong interest in the hemp-derived Delta-9 beverages. But the adoption rate in the number of distribution partners, the number of states, and the number of retailers within those markets has been rather astonishingly high. So it's been fantastic, and we've been going full throttle. And while we're doing that, we've also been building in hedges and working with other types of molecules, other different partners going into different marketplaces. So it's been a lot of fun seeing how well accepted our technology has been in various formats. And that's also gone to the fact where we've competed in multiple nationwide competitions, and every competition we've competed in, one or more of our products have won best in category and or best in show.
Congratulations. And what do you think? We always talk about the Rexis secret sauce. What do you think is the secret of your success? Why have you been so successful? Why have you won so many competitions?
I'll jump on that. I think it's because we're always evolving. We do something different than we did yesterday. This technology that's part of this entity is new. It isn't something that we've been involved in other technologies over the years, but this one here is very unique, very different, very, very different in terms of what everything is that's out there. It was really developed over the past year to really push it to where it's at. There's different iterations of it, of course. But I think it's that never resting on what we did yesterday, and we're very proud of that. So, a beverage that we did 12 months ago, it looks different even than it does now. So we're always continuing, always being better. We keep that process very secret. It is our golden goose and secret recipe and sauce, is however you want to put it. We very much use the Coca-Cola model. We could have patented this last year. We specifically chose not to. I don't need to publish it, how we do it, and then have a 15-year patent on it and still have to fight with people. So it's a trade secret. 7-step, maybe not 8-step process in terms of how we keep it secret. So we will continue to do that, and that kind of is our big game changer. And people are realizing how big a game changer it is.
And I think it's interesting because I remember you saying that no one person, no one partner has all those steps. So it really is a sort of a secret sauce, so that that those trade secrets really can't be put together.
Yeah, and it's also a big reason why we ended up developing our own facility. You can protect it a whole lot more than you're giving this technology and this ingredient to somebody else. So there's different iterations of the technology, but the bottom line is we make the pieces in multiple locations. We ship them to our own facility where we complete them, and then that allows us to absolutely keep it secret. Very, again, Coca-Cola model. We use their model from start.
So Ryan, I know you're doing a lot in the in the category development, and I know you're also looking at sort of taste tests. Do you want to tell the people on this call a bit more about that? Because I think it's interesting to see some of the work that you've been doing, which, say, following the greats like Coca-Cola, but also doing it in your own style.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was really clear to us is we could tell people that our drinks taste better than everybody else's, and they're only going to believe us to some level, because why wouldn't they think that we were drinking our own Kool-Aid? So for us, the real answer was, if somebody tastes our drink and they taste a competitor's drink, the aha moment happens immediately. The light bulb goes off and they understand fundamentally that our drinks are made differently, and therefore we can create a flavor profile that nobody else can. So for moving forward, what we decided we need to do was get our cans in as many hands as possible. If any of us on the video here are old enough to remember the Pepsi Taste Test Challenge from, I'm guessing that was in the 80s or 90s, probably 80s. It stuck with people. I mean, it was a marketing campaign that was 40 years ago and people still remember it. And we know that if people can try our drinks and taste our drinks next to somebody else's drink, immediately they're going to fundamentally understand we don't have that oily mouthfeel. We don't have that bitter aftertaste. We don't have that kind of question mark that people have when they try a drink that has bitter blockers and their tongue is being fooled into it not tasting the way that it's supposed to. And we wanted to let people have real reactions out in the street, on social media, where it's unbiased and they just try it. They try the competition and they rank them right there. And what we know is that people like our drinks a lot better.
So when we're looking at investments, we want to make sure there's sort of 3 things, which is a great product that meets a need. You've confirmed that. And that there's a great team behind it. Keith, do you want to speak to the team behind Rexis today, and any sort of developments you plan to have in the team in the future?
Sure. And what you said is right. Years ago, I got the privilege of having a very influential, successful businessman, kind of as an early mentor and a shareholder in one of my companies. And he said, you never invest in a company unless you have the jockey and the story, because you could have an amazing jockey and a bad story might work a little bit. You could have a great product, great story, and the person running is terrible. You really need both. So, I also learned years ago that if I think I'm a 7 out of 10 in marketing, why would I possibly hire anybody that's not a 8, 9, or 10? Because hiring anybody less than me is just an ego boost for myself, and that's a waste of everybody's time and money. So I put the team around us that I believe is better than me at a lot of the different things. And obviously, anybody who thinks they're great at everything needs to step back and look in the mirror, because there's always something or somebody that can learn and be taught to somebody. So this team, with Ryan, very much a different skill sets than I have. He has that skill set of being very detail oriented on top of different operational things, and that is his role. And then we bring a great marketing team. So Mark Flores, that runs our marketing team now, he was at Coors and Miller, has done a ton of stuff in the industry for a long time. Ted Whitney, he's our director of sales. He's taken 3 or 4 companies from fledgling beer companies to national sales that sold for 9 figures. So we have a sales team around him. Our manufacturing department, our director of manufacturing, he was with L'Oreal for years. So these are all people that have a ton of experience. It costs more money to do that and bring in the people that are right. But at the same time, by doing that, you know where you're getting, and need to be babysit them, and we all complement each other very well. I have a saying around here, if my baby's ugly, you better tell me. And I do that for the people, I do that for the product, I do that for everybody. There's no giving everybody hugs and saying you did a great job. I mean, yes, we do that, but bottom line is shareholders' return on investment is important and number one. So if we do not do that, I don't want anybody telling anybody they're great when they're not. If they're not, we're going to call you out on it, and we're going to do better. And we have that mentality around here. We have everybody holds each other accountable for everything that we do. It's not just me holding somebody accountable or Ryan. Everybody else hold each other accountable. And I think that breeds that culture that we've built.
That's fantastic.
Victoria, I'd like to add a teeny bit on top of that. I completely echo what Keith is saying. I spent the first 20 years of my career building teams for other companies in Silicon Valley. And what I really learned was not only does somebody have to have the skill set, but they truly have to have the right personality and character match to fit the team. And as Keith mentioned, we've brought on some heavy hitters early, and one could argue, why do you need that much firepower at the beginning? But if you hire the wrong person and then you have to get rid of them and rehire for them, it is crippling to an early stage company. And to get the right person early on that can work hard at the now stage, but has the ability to scale and get to where we're going with the company, ultimately becomes a lot more efficient and allows you to scale much faster. And we've absolutely done that.
Yeah, just look at your traction. I can absolutely see it. And the other thing is, they may cost more, but actually they don't cost more, because getting people who are less experienced, they typically take longer, they make more mistakes, and they also not stretching you to the place you want to be. So sometimes it's a false economy.
Right.
Absolutely. We can throw something over our shoulder and we know they've caught it and they're running with it, and we don't have to spend our time working on looking at that department. Keith and I have plenty of other things we need to be focused on.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear. So just going to open it up to the floor. If you have any questions, please pop them into the question box. In the meantime, I have a couple more. So I'm going to do some quick fire questions. So they're sort of just the questions that I know investors are going to want to know. So tell us, what was your revenue this time last year, and what's your revenue this year?
191,000, I think, in 2022. It was really kind of just starting existent. And then this year we'll do 3.3 on a cash basis, 4.8 on an accrual basis.
Excellent.
We've had an extremely good year.
That's great. When will you hit break even?
We're already there. We're already cash flow positive.
Okay. On
last year, we made about 470 or 480,000 profit last year.
What's your exit strategy?
The $1 million question. You're asking me that already.
Well,
it's more than $1 million question.
The investors are going to want to know, how are they going to get their money out? So
I'm just kidding. I've made my bread and butter on taking companies public. That's kind of my strategy early on. It was my strategy with this one. We are currently in the works of acquiring another corporation that has a different technology, but it is similar. And I think we're going to add that to our IP mix. We're going to add another company that has another piece that we're looking for. So we're going to add 2 or 3 pieces together. The company is growing so rapidly and so fast, and we have some very major players that are in this company, both on a shareholder side as well as a client side, that if there's not some type of liquidity event, meaning a go public strategy, I think we'll see a acquisition of some type. So 2024 looks like a very high profit center for us. Our revenue is going to be really high. Depending on reallocation of funds for growth, I could see it as a dividend payout to a degree in terms of the short term. But without question, I think within the 18 months, we're going to see a liquidity event of some kind, whether that be one of two, an acquisition, merger, or a buyout.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
Yeah. And I mean, for most people on the call, typically with crowdfunding, you don't expect to see a return in 5 to 8 years. So you can hear.
It's not going to be 5 to 8 years. It will not be that long.
You can hear the management team has a very aggressive growth plans and very aggressive timeline. We have a question from the floor. So hello, Team Rexis. Thanks for hosting the webinar. And of course, my question, does Rexis plan on partnering with other companies in the hemp space outside of beverage industries?
Yes, and we already have. So yes, beverage is just one part of our business. We are and have been exploring the food space, food products, and also we are working on other companies that have nothing to do with hemp. So we not just beverages. So we're trying that wide net in terms of what we're doing, but the hemp beverages are a low-hanging fruit, especially in the United States at the moment. But there is repeated interest from international companies around the world to use this new technology that we've developed more recently for other applications. So to answer, yes, absolutely, and we already are.
Because my understanding is your technology works for any hydrophobic molecule. So, CBD is the obvious one, but then you've also got nicotine and you've also got drug delivery. So, more pharmaceutical side.
Yeah,
absolutely. And Keith, before you answer that, I just want to drill down a teeny bit further for that question before. On the hemp beverage side, we are, yes, already making drinks for other companies. We've got a very robust pipeline of additional brands and companies that want to be on our platform. Some have signed and we're about to take them to market. Others are going through the last little pieces. And then the third category is companies are actually fundraising specifically so they can launch beverages with our brand. And that might be an extension for a company that's in the regulated space and they want to be in the hemp space as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So lots of partnering. And so this is an interesting one. You obviously have a huge number of opportunities and you've been very successful at capitalizing on those opportunities. How do you decide which opportunities you proceed with? And how do you decide which opportunities that perhaps you don't proceed with?
We, over the past 6 months to 8 months, we probably rejected far more than we've taken. The nice part about where we're at is, and this may sound mean, but again, I'm not here for hugs and cookies. They're just not big enough. So they're not going to take us to that next level. And we're not, the amount of work that we have to do to bring a brand to market that does not have $1 million budget or a $500,000 budget to do it, it's just not worth the time. So, we get our biggest players, their minimums are huge. Most people can't do that. So that's why we've had success in finding the bigger players that can make sure that we get there. And a lot of times it won't be in the space. Like, we are working with a nicotine company. It's in a tobacco company. And we're not doing anything in that space, but we are letting them trial the products. And they're a massive organization, because we look at that and go, we'll let them do the research, the development, the applications, the licensing, all of that. And then we'll just license it. So we look at those divisions and say, that's not something that we're going to play directly in, but indirectly will help our technology drive their product launch and whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Next question. If not already so, are there any plans to expand globally?
We already are globally, where we're working with several companies around the globe. We do have some more. Europe we're working on a project there, early stages. So yes, international development and launch will be a big part of our portfolio going forward, a large part. This is a global industry now, and take hemp away, because hemp is restricted mostly to the United States. However, Europe is opening, and so you put all the different pieces together, and it's a global play for sure.
Yeah, I remember being at London Tech Week last year, and I was looking at the drinks on display, and there were this CBD drinks just lined up on the shelf. And not only that, you could actually take them out and you could sit on the underground and drink them. It was just, there's a lot of changes and liberation happening sort of around the globe. So
yeah, it's not just the United States. We were just on a sales meeting before this call, and one of our head of sales in the Midwest area, he was talking about how amazing it was that he went for a meeting and went to a restaurant and ordered one of our drinks at a bar while he had lunch during the meeting. And just times have changed, and times are changing quickly and rapidly. And we like to, I think it's quite obvious, we're the leader in this space, and we want to stay there. So we're pushing as hard as we can every day.
So this is an interesting one, just from a consumer perspective. How are the consumers changing? I grew up, that's the wrong word. When I was working in Europe, we would always have a glass of wine over lunch. That was just like the norm. That's not really been the norm in North America to the same extent. But are you seeing the consumer is changing? And how are you seeing that happening?
The consumer is changing rapidly. It blows my mind how fast they're changing. They are absolutely driving as far away from alcohol as they can. The older, like myself, we were raised on alcohol. We consumed it a lot, and we did, and I still drink without question. My children, which are in their late teens, early 20s, they don't drink like I used to, or my friends used to, and we're seeing a departure. Alcohol sales are dramatically down. South Dakota is one of our distribution points, very strange distribution point. February, THC hemp drinks outsold import beer in the month of February. So wow. It outsold Corona, Modelo, all of those in South Dakota. In Minnesota last year, it outsold certain categories of wine, Cabernet and a few others. People don't understand how it's exploding, and the alcohol companies know it. And that's why we now have distribution with the likes of Budweiser and Coors and some of the biggest guys, because they're looking for other ways to diversify their portfolio. So they're not just worried about this alcohol space or wine space or whatever it is. They can offer other things. And the non-alcohol space is driving huge too. So now I want to get away from the alcohol but I still want to have a cocktail of some kind. So now we can put hemp in it, and it gives them an intoxicating effect without having alcohol. Much healthier and safer for you.
And without any hangover in the morning as well.
100%. That is a big piece of it. And
big difference.
Forget about that. Like, I'm in my 50s now, so hangovers, they're not so fun anymore. Back when you're 20, it doesn't matter, but we're starting to see the decrease there. So now you can, a hemp drink, when it's over, it's over. It's like a light switch. It goes away, and 98% of whatever you felt is gone. So you don't have that lingering effect alcohol does. That alcohol liver, transformation is hard in the body, especially when you get older.
Yeah. We also got a comment here. They're looking forward to hearing what comes out of the Benzinga event next week. So yes.
Everybody is asking me about that, like it's going out of style, but I will put it this way. It is the most exciting thing that we've launched maybe ever. It is going to change the industry in a lot of ways. We had a great sales meeting about it a few minutes ago that we're not sure how to handle it. We believe the growth rate on it is going to be so big. We haven't put too much in our pro formas in terms of what we're going to do this coming year. But we believe it's so big, we're going to release it with basically our Budweiser partners in one state, which I'm not going to say yet, and in one other state. We're very picky as to where we're going to launch it. It is a beverage line launch that people haven't seen before. So that is there's a lot of media coming for that exposure and a bunch of other things. So I would say to everybody on the call or that's going to hear this, keep your eye out for that, because it's going to be very interesting.
Excellent.
Very
so
excited.
Just to wrap this up, for anybody sitting on the fence going, should I be, part of the 199 investors today, get them over 200, get them up to $500,000, what would you say to somebody on the fence right now, knowing that they have until Thursday evening to get their investment in?
I've been part of a lot of big deals in my career. I took the first media company ever like it public and digital media company in the United States and Canada, and it was a big deal. This is going to eclipse any of those deals that I did that were very big, very publicized deals. It's I think the best return on investment that I've ever been involved with, and I'm very excited about it. And it's only getting bigger. We're bringing in another company that has a great technology that is a different technology than ours. It's similar, it's complementary, and I think putting the two of them together are a powerhouse. And then we have one other application that we're going to put together with it as well. This company, and I hope to close that acquisition in the next 2 months on the outside. So in the next 60 days, with the acquisition of that technology combined with these other pieces, we will be the powerhouse in that hemp cannabis space, hydrolytic, hydrophobic molecule delivery systems. I like to think we are a drug delivery system that happens to work really well with cannabis, really well with nicotine, really well with caffeine. So by putting these other technologies plus ours together, it's even further game changers than what we're doing. So I would say this is a very good opportunity at the moment.
The time is right.
It is. It is.
Excellent.
When we're closing this, we won't be doing another one of these. I will put it another way. So this will be it. This will be the last chance to do this kind of thing. And this isn't being rude, or this isn't being. It's just. It's going to go from this to the big players, and those big players don't. A lot of people don't get a chance to play in the big play. They get to do this. This was new for me, new for Ryan. We'd never done something like this before. And Victoria, I've known you for a while, and you've been doing this for a while. This was a great access point for a lot of people to get into something like this. But I'll say that's, I think, the biggest reason to do it now. We're not doing another one like this. The people after this to get in it are going to have to be big accredited investors.
You've got a few hundred advocates who are out there promoting you, and that's the key thing. So that's you've absolutely achieved what you need to achieve. what you need next is probably some, you know, significant funds to get the growth, or to meet the growth that you've got in front of you. Okay, excellent. Ryan, any last words from you?
I think you guys have covered it. You know, it's been an exciting ride. I really appreciate the investors that have gotten on board and given us a shot, and looking forward to sending them some samples of the products that we're making, and then hopefully they'll share them with their friends.
Excellent. Okay.
I appreciate everything from everybody.
You're very welcome. So we, for everybody on the call, just hop on over to wefunder.com/Rexis, REXIS, and you will find the full details there, and you will be able to invest online there. Please read everything, do your own due diligence. But this is, say, been a great opportunity to answer any of those final questions you may have. And Keith, Ryan, and the team, congratulations on the success you've had to date. And here's to an exciting couple of days. And I think like all of us, we're waiting for next week's Benzinga announcement. That sounds fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You all have a great day. Thank you so much. Okay, take care.